Tshomarelo, it's so nice that we could get this right now.
Oh, thank you so much.
So spontaneously.
Yeah, it has been long.
Yes. No, I had someone else slotted in for tonight, and but he got a cold, and he can't. He said he's a singer, so he can't. He has to soothe his voice.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. Sorry about that one.
No worries. Thankfully, we could get a hold of you guys, and yeah, I've been wanting to do an interview with you guys for so long, and now finally we got around to it. So nice of you to make it. Welcome to Tshomarelo. Welcome, Rokara. Yeah, I've followed your music for quite a while, and then not so long ago I saw you guys were on that documentary from Sam Dunn. Was it right?
Yeah, that's correct.
For Banger TV, and yeah, well, they said you were playing Wacken and all that kind of stuff. That was quite amazing. So how was it for you?
It was a very great experience. Actually, it was a dream come true, especially for Rokara. He will tell you about it one day when we were in rehearsal. What did he say to the band?
Oh, amazing. Cool. So did you play at Wacken? Did you play the newcomer stage, or where?
Actually, there was a special place that we were given to play. They looked at us and they say, OVERTHRUST. They will know exactly where they will fit. We are taking them to the Wasteland stage. So the Wasteland stage is more like a Mad Max scene in there.
Okay.
So it was also a very matching stage for us. We enjoyed it.
Oh, that's great. I'm glad you guys had the experience. Did you play more places? You also played Hamburg.
Yes, we did play a couple of shows. It was actually an organized tour for Europe for the first time for OVERTHRUST. We even played in Camp Nagel.
Sorry, where?
Hamburg. Yes, we played at Camp Nagel in Hamburg.
Okay.
Yeah, International Summer Festival, one of the biggest festivals as well. And we then played a show in Karlsruhe in Germany.
Karlsruhe,
and we also played and then we also played in P8. Then we played in Switzerland. I forgot the name of the bar. We played with a band there called. What's the name of that band? The other band, Spencer. There's another band we share stage with.
Which one?
The band Homophagia. Yeah, we played with Homophagia. It's one of
Homophagia in Switzerland, eh?
Yes, in Switzerland.
Yeah,
in
Zurich.
In Zurich. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
Homophagia.
Zurich.
Yeah.
Homophagia,
yes. Oh, I don't know them, so cool. I'll check them out.
Yeah.
But did you find it easy to? Well, first of all, did you write to Wacken and or how did it work?
Actually, we have our European managers. Our managers are based in Germany. Sasha, Marcel, Manuel, Dominic. So they had
the sleep of the band.
Now it's a pity Rokara's sound is a bit
okay.
Tomorrow, maybe you
actually
need
to... Okay. Actually, we have our managers based in Germany who usually book tours for us in Europe.
Nice.
They also come to Botswana to visit us here for some band activity. So in 2016, they did book a tour for us, specifically a show at Camp Nagel, which was one of the biggest international summer festival. And then being in Germany already, then they pitched for us to play at Wacken, and then they were asked to bring our music for the committee to see. They didn't know about us, and there was one person also, Wacken cameraman, the photographer, Pep Bonnet. He was there. He was also visited us in Botswana, so he knew about us. And then after listening to our music, they were very, very impressed, and they did not take no for an answer. They say, let this band come and play here. And that is how we actually played Wacken. And surprisingly, it's our first time to play the biggest festival in the world. We attracted so many supporters, huge fans. We attracted so many record labels and promoters that wanted to work with us, to the extent that the next coming year in 2017, we did another European tour for the second time, and we played 12 shows. And that is how it started. And then following with the third tour that I did personally, representing African metal scene in Finland. And then that is how it started.
Wow. So you guys did 2 tours in Europe?
Yeah.
Wow. Plus you doing some marketing for the band?
Yes.
That's amazing. Eh? That's really amazing. A little bit of background is we're going to go deeper into OVERTHRUST and how you started and all that, but just a little bit of info so you know where I come from. I'm from Namibia. So from the band Arcana. We were the first metal band in Namibia, and before that I played for Voice of Destruction from Cape Town.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So but it was only later that you guys in Botswana started.
Yeah, yeah.
And so tell us. I mean, Namibia doesn't have a scene really. There is very little metal music going on. South Africa still has some, but how on earth does a metal scene start in Botswana? Nobody would even think about that it was possible.
Yeah, you are right. Actually, Botswana from back in the days, having been known very well for its rearing cattle and agriculture.
Yes.
The fact is that the scene has been there from the start, as back as 1960s and 70s, but it was on the soft part of the scene. It was rock and roll by then. It was introduced by the British Western who came in Botswana as missionaries and some tradesmen, and then eventually they permanently relocated to Botswana, especially in the Ngamiland area in Mau. It's a tourist attraction place. So there were working relationships and eventually lead to marriages and other interactions. And that is how the rock and roll scene was spread there, and the coming generation listened to rock and roll, and they were exposed to the 80s by then, glam rock, the likes of Wasp, Def Leppard, Whitesnake, and stuff. And then, then there was a heavier, the rise of heavy metal. Motorhead was there, and then Metallica is one of the bands that was hugely influential to our Botswana scene. And from there, the scene developed with generation after generation. And that is when Botswana started seeing a subculture which was identically through leather and spike attire and cowboy hats. More so that some guys were decorating and they were designing their own attire through cow leathers that were produced at cattle posts, because that was a lifestyle that was common. And then we saw the very first band Noisy Road band from Botswana, Luwaze. They originate from Italy. The father was the first psychiatric doctor in Botswana, and then he had his kids who started a band by the name Noisy Road, and from there another band emerged from Noisy Road influence called Metal Horizon, and then we have our first extreme band as Rust. But during the times of Noisy Road band, we had also a very old rock and roll band by the name Mass Media Construction. I was so happy 2 years back to see them back on stage. So that is how actually the scene has developed. And our us generation that is exposed to the internet and social media, we have been able to take it through, and with the help of some media houses over the world, to spread it. So this is it.
Amazing. Amazing. I mean, the first band I heard of, that you're correct, the first band I heard of from Botswana was Metal Horizon. And later,
Road, yeah.
Yes, and later Rust played a festival in Namibia in Windhoek with us. Yeah. And we were
great. Yeah.
And we were, wow, this is like, wow. And they were, and so heavy and so fast. And it was kind of, back then we already thought, wow, from Botswana, that's amazing. And then obviously you have other bands like Skinflint.
Yes.
They're also going, I think they played with Soulfly on a tour now, from what I heard.
Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah, they played there two times. And Skinflint, there was also the first band that invited us for a metal show after we formed the band. That was around 2008, 2009. Yeah, and we recorded our first album, the full first album at Noisy Road Studio with Skinflint. Skinflint was recording us with Ivo Sopran at Metal Records. Yeah.
Wow, that was going to be one of my next questions, is how do you, I mean, I remember with Arcana, it was so difficult in Namibia to get the right production, to get the right sound. And because all the producers or the people that had studios were used to doing African music and or jazz or pop or, you know, that kind of stuff. And they couldn't really understand why guitars have to be loud and all that.
Yeah, yeah, you are right. We had such a challenge because at first, as we were starting, we didn't know where to go. We were staying about 1,000 kilometers from where Noisy Road Metal Record Studio for Skinflint was. So we approached the popular African beat musician who was a producer, and we faced such a challenge because we kept on reminding him that he has to do things the ugly way because that is how he saw it, and say, no, what you have to do is this. But they said, the way you say it's not okay, that is the way it should be. And then the demo, we released the demo, but we never take it out because it was not the standard of what we wanted. So we just put it underground, and then the Noisy Road producer, the father to Skinflint guy, he called us and said, you guys are amazing. So one of your gigs, so we would like to record you for free. And then that is when we recorded our first album. And then also Stooks from Rust. Actually, that was before Skinflint recorded us. Stooks then said, he also invited us for a gig and said, you guys, your stuff is great. I've never had something like this before. So we need to record this. I will also record you guys a single for free. And then Freedom in the Dark was our very first release as a single from Stooks Diamond for us studio. And then the second one was Desecrated This to Disease, the full album at Skinflint Studio, Metal Records. And then from there, as we interact much after our Metal for Africa Fest in 2013, that is where we actually got a huge exposure to the outside world. And that is when we started negotiating and interacting and meeting with our current record label, Indian River Music Company. we became a friend to the director, and then we kept talking in touch. He followed us when we were playing in Wacken in Germany. And then in 2016 now, that is when we started making things going. So as we speak, we have released an EP, a Suicide Torment, with our record label, Indian River Music Company. And they will be traveling from USA to Cape Town to meet us there to record our new album at Milestone Studios in Cape Town in
Milestone,
September.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
I know. I used to be in advertising in Namibia. I know Milestone. They used to do the jingles for us, for the radio adverts.
Yeah, great. Great.
I don't remember the guy that used to work there. The name.
Jethro Harris.
No.
Yeah.
No. But he might be retired by now. It's a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
But you're gonna get it. So this is the next album you're gonna do.
Yes. Infected by Myth. Yeah.
What is it called? Sorry?
The next album. Infected by Myth.
By meat.
Infected.
Yeah.
Myth.
By
myth. A certain belief. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
By myth. Okay.
Myth. Yes, because.
I thought it was going to be like Cannibal Corpse, infected by meat.
Yeah. Because currently in Africa, there are these upcoming fire churches, and they are deceiving people, brainwashing people. So it's like it's an infection, and people are getting infected by myth.
Very cool title. Very cool title. And when are you guys going to that? When are you guys going to the studio?
We will be at the studio from the 17th of September until the 26th of September.
Amazing.
And we will also shoot some music videos there.
Great stuff. Oh wow! Are you going to hook up with some Cape Town bands, or do you know someone there?
Yes, we have been talking to Patrick Davidson and Martin Neil Betek. So we are actually trying to hook up some kind of a small gig there before we leave.
That would be great, because I know a couple of people in Cape Town, Sacrifix and a couple of other bands. So maybe you can do
great.
shows.
That will be great. That will be great. You can talk to them on our behalf, please. So
I will. I'll
organize yeah. Thank you.
I know a couple of people. Now I must confess to you, I contacted you a while ago regarding that death metal sampler that we were going to bring out. You remember Tales from the Dark Continent? I
remember very well.
Yes. Now, unfortunately,
I remember very well. Yeah.
Unfortunately, first there was Corona, and then this whole thing just got sort of postponed and postponed and postponed. But the guy from the label has told me he can only finance it next year. And so everything is still there, and we will eventually get around to it.
No problem. Yeah.
So tell me something else. Now I know exactly what it means to start a metal band in Africa. So because when we started with Arcana, I mean, VOD in South Africa was already quite established. I joined later, and only for a short time. We played a European tour, and but then I started Arcana in Namibia, and that it was kind of, all the people were like, heavy metal, you know. And obviously we had our followers, but not many, you know. But when we played a show, it was always 300 people, and a lot of them were not metal fans. They just came because the show was like, because the energy, you know. So how did people respond when number one, when you first played live in Botswana, and number two, you're not exactly playing music like Guns N' Roses. I mean, you are like old school death metal. How did they respond?
For us, looking back, when there were only two bands that they were playing rock and roll, Noisy Road and Metal Horizon, they used to play with famous artists from South Africa like Brenda Fassie and Lucky Dube. So they were given slots there. So people knew that was actually the real rock or stuff like that. They knew that that was the real thing. So when we came in the scene after Rust came on the second generation musicians, and they were extreme. But then Rust was playing for metalheads now, who understood what was happening. So there were only less or few shows for us to non-metalheads. So when we came, OVERTHRUST came in the scene, we made sure that we take our music to people now that are not metalheads at all. The first show that we played, it was in a township where I used to be a police officer in Ganzi. And already, before we introduced the music, me and my friends, the bandmates, we were riding loud bikes. We were always heavily dressed up and drinking whiskey and vodka. So we kind of never talk too much to people. So they will have their misconceptions and their assumptions that this guy's man looks very evil. They are evil and stuff like that. They worship the devil. So they will talk. Then people close to us will tell us. So when we started a band, and our first show, we played with non-metal bands, and we were raising funds for a charity. They has actually invited us a friend who was metalhead in there. So when we played, people were like, no, what is that? Yeah, you're making noise. We can't hear you. You are screaming. That's so demonic and devilish.
I cannot hear the lyrics.
Yeah, we were kind of, we had a stage fright for a while because it was the first time. And then we got frustrated. And then we kind of like said to ourselves after the gig, say, this is the first time. Let's not give up. Then we became stronger than before. The second time we came, they would say, oh, these are the aggressive guys, the ones that's growl and scream. Okay, let's hear them. We did the second time. People now started approaching us and asking us. When we told them about the music, they even tell me, can you sing this without growl? I say, yes, I demonstrated it to them. Then I showed them the lyrics. Then they say, oh, we thought there were no lyrics. Just scream, and aggressive vocals. And then that is how it went. And they started laughing us now. They were getting interested, wanting to know more. What kind of music is this? And then there were like president competitions for live musics, for different variety of music. We joined in there. And then some bands that knew that we were growling and stuff, they were surprised when we came up with a competition. So it was soft rock and roll, nice like the tunes of Bon Jovi. And we took position one and we went to the national. And that is when now they started respecting us. So these guys can play. So these guys are professionals. And from there, we were in the news, national television, radio station. Amazing. Then we started organizing a charity winter metal festival. We invited our neighbors in Namibia, South Africa. Then the show becomes very, very solid. And then that is how it spreads until now.
So you, from what I hear, you guys have been working really hard. I mean, you've really pulled all the strings and crossed the T's and dotted the I's. Yeah. That's really cool. It's so amazing.
It was a struggle for metal freedom, because I remember there was a time when the churches have grouped themselves and did a petition for us. So they took a petition to the mayor, and the mayor, they would say, these guys are evil, they're spreading evil. There are lots of accidents in township and stuff. Then only to find that the mayor was also a metalhead, just that he was not showing out. And then he said, no, there's nothing wrong they're doing. It's music. I also listen to that music. And in Botswana, everybody has a choice of whatever they do as music or the religion they follow. It's not a problem. So they got disappointed, and then they decided that in the venue where we are playing, there was another venue. They started to conduct a church service surrounding our venue. So there was metal playing there, and then there were gospel music playing outside. And then we realized that now they were competing with us. But, they ended up giving up, because people now started saying, you churches now, you can't be saying you are worshiping God and now you are judging other people. No, these guys are nice guys. We know them. Yes, they are also doing this stuff, and they have decent works. So yourselves, you are not even donating to anyone. folk. Then that is when now they started dropping those ones.
But we are not different to authors or filmmakers. We are storytellers.
Yeah.
Exactly. Music, we tell stories. We write about things, you know. But I had the same thing. I went to a music store.
Exactly.
I went to a music store in Namibia, in Windhoek, and I wanted to buy guitar strings. And this lady, I said, like, where are your? I'm looking for more. I wanted heavy gauge guitar strings. And this lady comes, like, that's over there. And then she goes, and then she stands next to me and she goes, yeah, are you from Arcana? I said, like, yes. And she said, but aren't you devil worshippers? I was like, oh, no. Forget it. I said, no, I just want to buy guitar strings. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm back.
Are you writing riffs?
Yeah.
That's so great. Really, we covered your how you came into existence. What I want to find out more is from you is now you've had a lot of chances. I mean, to go into either directions. I think a band like Skinflint is more not as extreme, but what made you guys decide? What sparked you to go into the sort of I hate labels, but old school death metal direction? Was it a certain band? What was it?
Actually, you know, we were influenced by our environments. Like it was coincident that all the members of OVERTHRUST were into old school death metal. Myself, I grew up with my uncles who were more into heavy metal, but their favorite death metal bands was Morbid Angel, Deceit, and then Cannibal Corpse, Immolation, Vader, and and the others, Broken Hope. So I was exposed to the very first tape. It was Morbid Angel, Blessed Are the Sick. That is the one that I actually found playing in my uncle's house, because I usually came from, we were next door from our place to them to listen to this music that by then I didn't know it was metal music. I just said, oh, this music for the guitars, because I was young. So one day I usually find the house open, they were not around, and the tape played, and then I started getting interested, and then I started imitating the vocalist. I didn't know what he was saying, but I just imitated that. And then after it was off, I repeated it again. And then because I was also in martial arts, in karate, so then I started to realize, oh, the way these guys do is doing it like a Kia when we are training. When we can't end up like saying, yeah. But the power is from here. It's not from here. It's down there.
Yeah.
And then I observed. Then now I was exploring by myself. Then I also observed the dogs when they're back. Like they'll say, how? Then I'll say, oh, everything, all the power is from down.
Yeah.
And then I also, exactly. Yeah. Then I also observed other animals like donkeys. Then I say, okay, I'm going to try it. I practiced it from that stage before I could even learn how to play music. And then by the time when I was at secondary school, I was starting to write my lyrics and growling them. And then when I finished my tertiary school around 2007, I joined the Botswana Police Academy. And then that's when I met a professional musician. He was attending School of Music in South Africa. And then he was also into rock and roll. Then he taught me how to play guitar with a box guitar, acoustic guitar. Then I went for a first aid course in 2008, and that's I went there for a karate tournament and the guy, our sensei, he was a neighbor to my cousin, Rokara. And when he introduced me to him, by then we didn't know we were related. He just said, this is a guy, he's a rock and roll as well, and he's good in guitar. Yourself, I hear you like bass, you can meet and chat. And then we did a chat. And then we agreed to start a band, just like that. And then when I went back to Ganzi, because I was already working and having my own place, I invited Spencer. He relocated, and we stayed together there. And then we rented a house for rehearsal, and where Spencer will be staying. We started our rehearsals at the first house, and we were told our music was too loud. They started cutting electricity for us when we were rehearsing. Then we relocated to another one. When we at the other one, their grandmother passed away, and we were accused of killing her with our loud and dangerous sound. And then we were chased. And then there was another house. There was another house which was opposite the graveyard, old graveyard. It was like abandoned, but it has electricity and water, and it was a normal house. And then the owner, we rented it. One of our friends said, no, recommended it. People are not staying there because they say it's close to the graveyard, so they are afraid of it. Okay, is it spooky? They say, no, we don't know. And then we say, that is a real house with the metalheads. We'll take it. And then that is where actually we stayed for a long time there. Rehearsing in there, and the guitarist was staying there, and the drummer. And then we were able to do lots of rehearsals and new songs until we recorded our single and EP. We're still staying in that house until I relocated to another place from Ghana.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. Cool.
Thanks.
So when you're writing, is it a band effort? Who or is it, you know, sometimes all 4, 5 guys write, sometimes it's 2 guys. How do you do it?
Yeah. Actually, I'm the main guy who writes OVERTHRUST songs, because we are guided by our theme. We have OVERTHRUST theme songs. Is death, purgatory, torture, and religion. We criticize religion. So with those standards, they guide every member of the band how they should stick to when they write their lyrics. We had some previous songs from the very old album, which were written by Rokara, and some were written by our late first drummer, Suicide Torment. And then as time goes on now, they started getting lazy to write, and they say, Valja, you write. So I write most of the lyrics and our current lyrics, and then I give to them to edit. And then they say, okay, let's put it this way. And then when it comes to composing instrumentals, we work together. I usually come up with a riff with a bass guitar or acoustic guitar, just like that, and I give it to them, and everybody have input on it. Spencer is actually the one who do most of the editing, guitars, solos, and everything there. So we work together as a team.
Oh, that sounds good. So you really still down to it. You get into a practice room, you nail down the songs, and that's it.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, things have changed so much now. A lot of bands record over the internet. You know, one guy, you know, right. one musician is in Toronto, one musician is in Paris, one is in Moscow, and they all record. Yeah, so it's still amazing when bands still really play together. You know, it's a different magic.
Yeah. Yeah, like in our case, we always tried by all means to keep it old school and original. Like we wouldn't force a recording like digitally online like that. We rather prefer to wait until that time comes, because currently we had, even before we had our guitarist Rokara was staying in Moroni, but he's now staying where I'm staying. Now we have our rhythm guitarist. He has always stayed there. He's still there in Gaborone. We have our drummer who has stayed for almost 2 years here, but now he's relocated back to Mahu. So what we do, we agree on everybody's schedule if they will be free, and then we agree for a certain date which suits us all, and then we appoint. Then 3 days or less than that is usually enough for us for practice for a recording for the songs that they are already there. And then for a festival, a day is enough for a rehearsal or 2 hours. We have lots of our songs, individuals practices, and when we meet, we just adjust the tempo, consistency, and other stuff. So we that's what we prefer. We prefer to keep it original, old school, and tight.
Yeah, amazing, cool.
Thank
so
you.
It really is not only old school death metal; it's the old school way of doing it. Amazing.
Thank you.
So from what I've gathered from you, you have material ready to go. You're going to hit the studio September, so we can look forward to more death metal from Botswana. I think everybody out there, you need to check out this band. It's amazing if you haven't already. It's phenomenal to see this kind of music come from Southern Africa. Well, South Africa, but a country like Botswana, and sorry, Tshomarelo, if I'm gonna leave you with a final question. If you had to choose the billing for your optimal tour, who would you like to play with?
We have long ways to share stage with Deceit, Cannibal Corpse, Immolation, Possessed, Vader, and Broken Hope. If we can be given a chance, we can also play with Mortician included. Those are the major ones. Morbid Angel at far most.
But tell me, when bands like, I wasn't there anymore. I've been in Germany now for a long time, but bands like Behemoth have played South Africa, and several others. I don't know who, but when they play, do you get invited to? Can you open?
We have never been invited, but personally, I have attended the shows just to go and watch, but we have never get an invitation. But maybe that was then. I think because currently we are playing most of the shows with South African bands, and personally, I'm interacting with most of South African promoters, exchanging gigs. I don't know. Maybe it depends. Maybe the organizer, the hosts, maybe they prefer it. Maybe otherwise, maybe to get to the locals. I don't know, but we just wish if they do something like that again, they should please invite OVERTHRUST.
You know what they should do, is, in my opinion. Now, I'm far away, I can't organize it, but you know Maryland Death Fest, now there's they have a Dortmund Death Fest now here in Germany with Deicide playing, and Am I Morbid, as David Vincent's new band, and
I know.
Bloodbath, Cancer, and so somebody should do that in South Africa, like Joburg Death Fest, and then
they have done it. The band called Volvadania, they have done Johannesburg Death Fest. We played it there.
Oh,
last year. Last year we played with them.
Oh, okay, amazing. But what I mean is, if an international band comes, like Pestilence or like someone, and then build it up like that, maybe get 2-3 big bands, like there's a lot of them, Morbid Angel, I don't know, and then get you guys in. That's the kind of whatever.
That will be great. That will be great. We so wish and look forward to that in future. If they could just ask us to come play there, we will definitely do.
So tell me, is there anything in the pipeline for Europe again soon?
Yeah, actually, what was in the pipeline for the past 2 years, we had USA tour planned, Florida, Orlando, and the neighboring cities there. So COVID came, and then the other challenges it's difficult to get a US visa. It's a long process. We are trying currently to get one. None of us has. I'm the only one so far who has submitted to see how it will go, and then after seeing the procedure, the other band will follow. We are currently planning for Europe tour next year. We are currently in talks with our managers in Germany to try and come up with some shows, and also we are trying to talk to the band that we hosted from Switzerland last year. They will say they can also help with some shows that side.
God, that would be awesome. I'd love to see you guys here somewhere nearby. I'm about an hour from Hanover.
Yeah, thank you.
Northern Germany. But it would most definitely be awesome to see you guys here. So if you have something lined up, please do let me know.
I'll definitely do. If I hear more, I will do. But currently, all I can say is that we never forget to thank all our followers and supporters, remind them of their importance to us. It's them that make us push and have more activities because they keep us going. We love them so much. So we will promise to keep it old school, dirty, raw, and dangerous sound.
Yes. Awesome. Tshomarelo, I'm going to wish you guys all the best. You're going to hit the studio in September. All the best of luck. Keep us updated. And maybe when you guys are done, when the album's out, we have another chat. That would be cool.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll definitely do that. Thank you for the opportunity, brother. And we have been waiting for this interview for a very long time. So we finally made it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I'll let you know when it's up, and please share as much as you can.
I'll do that. Thank you.
Amazing. Have a good one, and thanks for jumping in.
You too. Thanks, brother.
Cool. Keep well.
Cheers. Africa.